Hi guys, I am back again, and last time you saw me I had just lost a Pong battle with Jordan Lambert, and I'm not bitter about it. It's fine. Anyway, this week I wanted to talk to you about relationship, and more specifically relationship with God as our Father. To begin with, I wanted to focus on this passage in the Bible. It comes from the Gospel of John, and pay attention carefully because I'm going to come back to it in a little bit. So it is John 15 verses 1 to 8. Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says, "I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. Every branch in me that does not produce fruit he removes, and he prunes every branch that produces fruit so that it will produce more fruit. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me and I in you. Just as a branch is unable to produce fruit by itself unless it remains on the vine, neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. The one who remains in me and I in him produces much fruit, because you can do nothing without me." So the key word that I really wanted to focus on within that passage was remain, because when I first came to know Jesus, that was something that just didn't click with me. Jesus was limited to a Sunday morning, and that was it. The same way that school was Monday to Friday and work was Saturday mornings, and then I had the odd social time with a friend one evening a week. He had that specific place, and that was it. And I didn't realise that knowing Jesus meant that he was made to fill every single area of my life, not just a few hours on a Sunday. And I would meet these people who just seemed so physically linked to Jesus, and I remember just thinking, like, what? Like, how can somebody talk about Jesus as though they meet with him every single day? And I later realised that, well, they talk about him like that because they do. And I think that's when it really clicked for me that you get out what you put in. You can have as much of Jesus or as little of Jesus as you want, and it all comes down to you, to how much you're choosing to be with him, to how much you're putting into this relationship in order to make it work. A side note, I've noticed that I kind of look ill / vaguely scary, and I just want to reassure you that I'm fine. I think it's because the light is going and it's that weird kind of dusky time in the evening, and it's just making me look really weird. So sorry about that. Please bear with me and don't think about my weird ghost-like complexion. I have mentioned before in previous talks that I am a community carer, and I've been doing that job for 2 years now. I started when I just turned 19, and I remember looking through the list of all the clients that I had to visit. There was around 15, I think, maybe more, and I was so overwhelmed. I remember looking at it thinking, how on earth am I supposed to get to know all these people and have a relationship with them? As you guys know, I am very extroverted. I am an extremely big people person, very bubbly, very loud, I know. And so getting to know people is right up my street. I love it. But that didn't happen immediately. I didn't walk in on the first day of my job and automatically know their favourite drinks and what made them nervous, what reassured them, what their personalities were like, what their interests were. I didn't know their family or their children. I knew none of that. That took time to build up until I got to a place where it felt like I was going in to look after my grandparents, just because I had that relationship with them. We talked, we laughed, we spent time together in those care calls every single day. But that happened out of choice. I could have walked in, just done the job and left. I didn't have to go in and talk. I didn't have to spend an extra 15 minutes sitting with them at the end of the care call, having a cup of tea and chatting about, I don't know, loads of aspects of my life. I didn't have to do those things, but I did, because I wanted to get to know them. I wanted to have that relationship with them. And in the same way, it's exactly the same with Jesus. Like I said, you get out what you put in. If you dedicate that time and actually seek him out, you will flourish. You will feel the benefits. You will begin to see that fruitful relationship growing and growing and growing, because you are putting so much more into it. In a similar situation, Charlotte, we all love Charlotte, big up Charlotte. I am best friends with her now. She is the best. I love Charlotte Cooper. Couldn't sing her praises more. And when I first joined Renew, I barely knew her. I think I smiled at her, but I didn't know her other than her name. And now we are great friends. I go to her about so many things. She is amazing. She gives me so much good advice. She's an absolute laugh to be around. She's incredible, but I didn't have that friendship with her straight from the off, you know. I had to spend time with her. I had to meet up with her. I had to sow in that time with her to get to the place today where our friendship is. When we commit to our relationship with him and when we remain in him, our relationship with him flourishes. Just like he says, he is the vine, we are the branches. We grow and we develop and we learn so much more about who he is. Jesus is so much more beautifully complex than a Sunday morning. Like, that just blows my mind every day, that I can have as much of him or as little of him as I want. It's all down to me. And I think the best present that he could ever have given us is the fact that we can be with him whenever we want. There is a verse in Jeremiah, I think it's chapter 29 verse 13 or 14, and God says, you will find me when you seek me with your whole heart. And that is the thing, it has to be our whole heart. We can't be lacking. We can't give a little bit here and a little bit there. If we want to know him deeply, if we want to have a flourishing, growing relationship with him, we have to be all in. Just like with your friends, you know, if you chose to meet your friend once every kind of couple of months or so, you probably wouldn't be as close to them as you could be. But if you talk to them every day, if you deliberately decide to text them regularly and just check in on them and just see how they're doing, see if they want to come hang out with you, you will probably have a lot closer relationship with them. You know, I mean, all me and my friends, we went to university, and in that moment we could have drifted apart if we wanted to. We could have just lost contact and, you know, kind of seen each other once a year, but we didn't. We deliberately decided that we were going to keep in touch. We messaged every week, we FaceTimed, we met up, and because we did that, our relationship grew when we left school. It didn't wither, it actually developed further and further, and I am now closer to my school friends than I've ever been. I'm just going to pray for you guys now, if that's okay. So Father, I thank you for every single person watching this. I thank you for these boys and girls and that your hand is on their lives. I pray for them, Father, that they would know that you are so present in their lives. You are so consistent. You love them with a consistency that never ever fails. And I pray, God, that they would have hearts that yearn to be with you, that they would have hearts that prioritize being in your presence every single day, and that their relationships with you would begin to flourish. In your name I pray, amen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will be back again, no doubt. Might be a pong battle, might be another talk, we will see. Stay tuned and I will see you soon.